Hey, it's Bitty Penny. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be showing you guys one of my top sellers at my craft fairs. This is a little design that I made up about 3 years ago when I did one of my first craft fairs, and it's a hit. It's a hit on my Etsy page. In fact, they're sold out right now on my Etsy page. I need to restock there as well. But they're so simple to make. The supplies are minimal and they're a lot of fun. So all you need is some just standard file folders. In fact, even the cheaper, the lighter the weight, the better, in my opinion. And then, ephemera, like these are cut aparts from Mente that my sweet friend Tia sent me. And so yeah, like anything goes. You can make these any theme you want. Then you just need some simple copy weight paper. I like to use this tan paper. You need a twine, and let's get into it. So to start, you can hand cut, as I was showing you right there, but I prefer to cut with my trimmer. And you just cut all of these file folders in half. Now these are the Amazon basics where I got like 100 of them for I don't know what. But if you could ever find them at a thrift store or your local office supply store, whatever you want, maybe you have some laying around the house. You take it and you fold it in half. Now, I am really specific with how I like to fold mine. I like to fold them so that the tab is on the right side and the back side of the folder. So this one, I did not fold this one correctly to start, but the fold is the same. I just had to turn it and reposition it. Or actually, at the top is fine too. I just really like the tab at the back. So I fold it from right to left like this, and then from the bottom to the top. And if you fold the folder like this, then you'll get the right fold every time. But that's it. There's no trimming these besides cutting them in half. And what's great about cutting them in half is you get two for every folder that you have. All right, now here, this is totally anything you want. But I know you guys like measurements. And so this layer here is 5 by 3 and a half, I believe. I'm even checking my board there. Yep, this is the 5 by 3 and a half. It really doesn't matter. You just want to make sure that your focal point fits on the folder. So you can make this any measurement you have and that you want. If you want to use total scrap paper and you don't want to measure, I get it. I'm the same way. Okay, I had these printable flowers. If you want some printable flowers that are gorgeous and easy to cut, I would suggest Tsunami Rose or My Porch Prints. They both have fussy cut flowers that are gorgeous, that are printables. And even the Tsunami Rose ones are perfect for your Brother Scan and Cut. So you could print out pages and pages of these, run them through your Brother Scan and Cut, especially if you're like mass producing. I would always looking for shortcuts when I'm mass producing things. When I say mass produce, I'm probably going to have about 20 of these in the craft fair that I do. I usually make about 20 of any one thing. I try to anyways. So now I am just getting all of my pieces together. Now this can be any theme, anything you want. So the ones I showed you at the beginning were angels. For me personally, I've noticed that when I use my Tim Holtz little dolls, whatever they're called, those always sell out. People really like those. So that's what I'm making right now. I'm making 4. And that's typically how I work. I'll make 4 or, kind of sets. And that way I can produce more of them at once. So, I knew I need 4 flowers for my focal point. Then I brought in these page tabs, but I didn't even use them. They're handmade ones. You'll see how I made them in my next craft fair video. And then I brought in like these 4 tickets, which I made as well using a Tim Holtz set and scrap paper. And then I love these little cut apart tags. Gosh, I think they're Tracy Fox, which is another printables. I love printables, you guys. Like, I totally support small business and printables all the time. I have a huge file on my computer of printables, and I use them like mad. So, yeah, that's where those came from, just in case you're curious. And now I'm bringing in my little dollies, and these girls are sitting. So I have them set on the transit bus ticket. And I just love the way these look. I know these will sell out fast. These will probably be my first ones to go. I should probably make more than 4. I should probably make more like 10 of these with flowers and the dolls and all the little pieces of ephemera. Those are always really popular. So, you know, you kind of have to know your audience, but I'm telling you, with these, you don't have to know your audience. They will just sell. So if you're looking for a quick, I mean, you can make these fast, you guys. You're looking for a quick project. I think it's really inexpensive. I sell these for $10. I was selling them for $7 on my Etsy page, which is probably why they were selling out. But then people had to pay to ship it. So that's why I kind of marked it a little less, so that by the time they were checking out, it was $10. I don't know. But you sell them for whatever you want, but I sell them for $10, and they're always gone. They're always gone off the craft table. Because if you think about it, if you're buying for a teacher or something, these days you've got to give her a $10 Starbucks card. A $5 one won't even get her out the door with a drink. So, $10, it's a unique gift. It's a handmade gift, and perfect for teachers having little notebooks and just church friends, whoever, girlfriends, they're easy to sell. Okay, here's another printable. This was in my scrap bin, but I wanted a backing here. I always like to have layers, and I feel like this layer is pretty important. I didn't measure this one, but you can tell because of what we measured our first layer at, you can get 4 of these to a page. And I'm not gluing to the edge. This is important because I'm sewing the edges. So I'm going to sew these pieces together, and I don't want glue. Glue will mess up your sewing machine so fast. So I'm keeping inside. If you're going to skip sewing, go ahead and glue to the edges, right? So one of my big rules, and if y'all go back and rewatch, or if you noticed, when I glue anything on a notebook like this that I'm going to sell, I glue to the very edge of everything, and then I make sure that nothing can catch. Nothing's more annoying to me than pulling something out of my purse and it getting caught on other things or something. And so when I make these and I add all these pieces of ephemera and everything, I glue. I glue even more than I do for my cards because I want to make sure nothing catches, nothing tears, and that people enjoy using this notebook forever. Okay, this is probably, but it's really not time consuming. I was going to say this is probably the most time consuming thing about my process. It's something you could skip, but it's something that I do and I've been doing since the beginning. I ink my edges. Now, I would say in the junk journal community, people are always using vintage photo, which is cool. I use vintage photo too. But with these little books, I discovered that I really like to ink in bright colors or just different colors. Of course, I want it to match whatever I've got going on. I thought this moonstone really went well with the centerpieces today. I thought the blue was really nice. Plus, I'm going to use those vintage blue buttons that you see up there on the left of my screen right now. Those were sent to me by Sandra B. Thanks, Sandra. You're probably wondering, is that girl ever going to use all those amazing vintage buttons I sent her? Yes. Yes, I am. And I have my dragonflies up around my room. All right. So, I just discovered these. So, we're going to take a trip down my junk journal box here. These are bookmarks. And I took like National Geographic, really old ones that I get for 10 cents at the thrift store. And I make random bookmarks. I love to have a box of bookmarks on my table at the craft fair. I always have a box of bookmarks. These are bookmarks that I made, but I think they're just a little, they're going to work great for my sketchbook, but they're too big. These are like junk journal centerpieces when I was doing circus journals. And these are fun little envelopes that I make. I make them in bulk. So I have a whole slew of them in here. So I'm going to grab 4 of those because I think those will be really cute in the front pockets. Now, Frankenpaper. This is like the week of Frankenpaper, you guys. You're going to get tired of hearing me say it. But this was all Frankenpaper that I took and cut apart into tags. I just shaped it like a tag. And these are Pockets of Sunshine, which is a design that I came up with that I also sell at the craft fair. And I was like, ooh, I have like 6 of those unfinished in here. So that'll be my next craft fair video. I'll show you my one sheet wonder Pockets of Sunshine, how I make them, what I put in them, all of that. So let's put that to the side. All right. What I essentially just did was I grabbed my fillers for these journals. Now I need my pockets. So I just bring out my handy dandy little ruler, measure them up, and I was able to cut all of my pockets in one go from a 12 by 12 sheet of paper. I was able to cut tons of pockets. So, you don't even need a whole lot of supplies, and suddenly you can have a lot of these little books. Now, I leave my threads long. It's just kind of one of my signature things. Anytime I sew on a card, on a journal, on anything, I leave my like bobbin threads and my end threads really long. I don't know. It's a tick I have, you could call it. So if you hold the area that you don't want glued down with your hand and glue the other 3 sides, your pockets will always go on like a charm. Just a little tip there, but I'm gluing these down. I had them on double-sided paper, so I decided to make it funky and glue the different colors, the different sides up. And so now we have our envelope there. These envelopes are so easy to make. If y'all want to see how I made them, request it. You guys, if you're not doing craft fairs, I adore craft fairs. I get so much feedback. I see what people look for. I see what gets a response from people. And so I love craft fairs. But if you don't do them, you can make these for upcoming Christmas gifts and probably with supplies you already have as a card maker. I'm just saying. All right, I'm hot gluing my buttons on, and I have to do this to keep my threads all tidy. And now we're cutting the inside paper for the notebook pages. This is 20-pound cardstock. I think this one's called Tan. It's from Spring Hill Digital, my favorite international paper. And that's it, guys. Okay, on the 8.5 side, you cut it to 8 inches. On the 11-inch side, you cut it to 5.5, and you're done. Done. Isn't that amazing? I love that. So the only paper you're not using is 1/2 inch strip, which you can use in your Franken paper later. It's awesome. Okay, you can bind these however you want. I just tie twine around them, so they're very loose leaf. And what I think is fun about that is if someone gave you a note or you had something you wanted to add into this little journal, you would just fold it up, slip it behind the twine, and you could actually add pages to the notebook. When you're tying your twine, you just need to go double the length of your piece. And I always go a little extra because I want to give myself plenty of tying space. But that'll give you one go around. And I put 6 pages in my notebook. I fold 3 at a time, and then you won't get that excess overhang on the edges when you fold. If you just fold 3 at a time, Then you put them inside of each other, put them in the notebook, just like I just did, and then put this little twine around them. Yeah, so cutting your twine like that will give you one go around. And I doubled my knot, and putting the 6 pages in like I just showed you gives you 24 pages front and back of writing space, which I think for a little notebook like this is enough. Plenty of space. So that's how I do it, you guys. That's how I make these little notebooks. I didn't get this idea from anyone else. It's just something I played with in my craft room, like I said, 3 years ago, and it turned out to be a hit. So here's these. And Sandra, I used some of your buttons on these angel ones too to keep my threads in check. And this one I added lace. I mean, I just change it up every time, but I do always like to sew. And in this one, for whatever reason, I put guest check inside. I have a dear sweet friend who lost a loved one, and she was a close, like, not only family member but friend, and I sent her one of these so that she knows that her friend's an angel. She's got an angel on her side. So you can really use these for whatever. You could staple the paper in. I put these in. This is from my Mary and Kentucky, and I thought they reminded me of angel wings. So I put one of those in the back of each of those pockets. On these, I decorated the back, quick and simple, but I liked that touch. I did not decorate the backs of these, and I'm okay with it. Look at that little cutie. Aw. I really like the way these came together, and look how flat they are. The only thing dimensional on this is the button, which it could catch on things, but it's vintage and it's so cute. I had to add it. And with these, I added a little bit of that pattern paper that matches the pocket down at the bottom of this library card because I really wanted it to stick out at the top. I love that these notebooks have a front and back pocket within the folder because they can add things and tuck things into the folder that way too. Here's the envelope, and the best tip I can give you about making these is make sure you're using clean book pages without profanity and just vulgar language and content. These pages, someone had given me a book and I had no idea what the book was about, and it's like I made 20 of those little envelopes and I went back to paint them and I realized, oh my gosh, these are terrible. So I had to put like just white gesso over all the nasty parts. So from now on in my craft room, I only use like clean books. So I look for like kids books or music books that are like my Wagner's opera. I look for things with clean content. I will tell you that. Just in junk journals in general, I don't want to sell something to someone that is offensive. So that's something to think about when you're tearing things apart. And but I fixed it. I wasn't going to throw them away. And these are my Franken paper tags. I just think they're so cool. So cool. I don't know. I may go back and do the backs because I always do the backs of these. So I don't know if I can resist the urge. This one's so sweet. And what I like about the ones I made today is I have one with like girlfriends, one with a woman on her own, one with a little couple, and another one with, I think another little girl. Yeah, a little girl, a woman, a couple, and friends. You know, I just see where people could connect with those things. So these are my project. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you'll give these a try. They really are easy, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.